So the purpose of this video is to just teach you some grammar. Basically, I'll explain 2 Java exercises, and so I want that you're learning Java, so you have a better comprehension of the language. Okay, I hope I can be that help. So first of all, I have a question here for you. So what do you think? Okay, this is about programming. Okay, do not worry. But I just want to ask you a question. What do you think would be the similarity between a sunflower and an X-ray of your hand? What do you think? Just think about it. Do you think the flower is being watered by the hand? Might be it. Or I don't know. The flower has a couple of these petals, and we have fingers. Perhaps we're missing around 30 plus fingers. Well, so you will figure it out. Okay, I want to bring into your attention 2 exercises. Fibonacci. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a solution step by step. Also want to walk you through the Fibonacci and about Java, how we code in Java. So as target of this project would be understand the problem, then consider possible solution and to implement that solution. So first of all, let's understand the problem. Let's just discuss a little bit about Fibonacci sequence. So the Fibonacci sequence appears in nature. So that kind of explains a little bit about the flower. So there is some Fibonacci involved there. So it is basically the arrangements of the seeds in the sunflower. So we can see Fibonacci. I'll gently explain to you how can we see that. And there are also spirals of the Nautilus, for example. Nautilus is like the caracol that you found in the sea, something like that. Okay, so the thing is that you have Fibonacci sequence, right? It's a couple of numbers. It begins with 0 and 1. And then the third number would be the sum of the previous 2 ones. For instance, if I sum 0 plus 1, it'll be 1. So the next number will be 1. So I'll better explain in the next slide. It'll be this. Look, we have 0 and 1. The summatory of these 2 numbers will be 1. Then for us to know the next number of the sequence, we have to sum 1 plus 1, 2. Okay? If we need to know, or if we want to know the number in the sequence, we have to sum the previous 2 ones. Okay? 1 plus 2 equals 3, and so on. So they give you an example. When I was trying to figure it out, I replaced 5 minus 1, and it didn't work. But I'm here to explain what is it about. Okay, so this is basically the Fibonacci. So I want to give you some details about what Fibonacci is. Basically, if we draw a square starting from this position, okay, we draw a square. 1 centimeter, let's say, is equal to this square, and then the other square here, the other rectangle, no, not rectangle, square, number 2, then number 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then number 5, and then number 8, and then number 13, and so on. So we'll get something like that to the infinity, something like that. then that's the way. If we draw this kind of spiral, it'll perfectly match the Fibonacci sequence. Now let me explain a little bit about the sunflower. So here's the sequence, and if we duplicate the arrangement of the Fibonacci that way, that's the same way that the seeds of the sunflower are born. They're somehow in that way. You see, that's how it looks like, the sunflower. Okay, but now what do you think then would be? Well, here is the that we can find this in our DNA. This is the Nightilies, this is the hurricane, this is some other flowers. We have the same pattern, right? So now, how can we find that same pattern in our hand? Well, turns out that if you measured each one of your fingers, those are called phalanges. If you sum the fingers, you will have the same pattern. The patterns of a Fibonacci sequence start from, let's just go back, start from 1 1 2 3. Okay, 2 3. Our finger phalanges start counting from 2 3 5 8. We have this. If you have a meter near to you and you count, right, and you measured your phalanges, you will figure it out. 2 3 5 8. 2 3 5 8 is like this square. So we have the same pattern that hurricanes, flowers, and many other things have. So do you think that tells us about a creator, like there is an artist that create the whole world? Who knows? Let's see. Okay, now let's focus on how are we going to implement this in Java. So first thing and most important is that we can handle these type of scenarios using tables, like a tables. In Java, they're called arrays. So that's a way we can implement that. So that was the first thing that came to my mind. That's the way that I implemented. I want to show you. So for this one, this red section here, it tells us about the name of the position. Whatever you put here is the name of the position, but not whatever. It is just always 0, 1, 2, 3, right? It begins from 0. So the next one is the value of the position. Here you can put any value, whatever the value you want. So what we want is to put the Fibonacci sequence here. And as I mentioned, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, okay? So it'll be something like that, right? 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. So basically, we need somehow to fill this array with those numbers. That's the only thing we need to do here. Okay, how that sounds? Well, just we have to keep in mind this is always 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, and this is going to be to the infinite. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55. And if they ask us, okay, give me the number 7, we have to do then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. If they ask us for the number 5, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to come up with this fourth one. Okay. So now let's learn a little bit more about what is that thing about array, right? It is a Java function, array. You can correct me if I'm mistaken, but yeah, It is a function, not a a function or a method. A method, yes, it is a method because you have different options here. So, well, it's not an it's not a array, it's not a method. I gotta learn that. My bad. But the thing is that that array has a lot of methods. So you have the method for you to add numbers. You have the method for you to get a number. You had a method for you to set, for you to know the size, for you to remove, for you to clear. Okay, that's the main reason I use that array. So we need to know how do we create an array. So this is the way. So you have this is the name basically of a list. It's a list of integers, right? It's a list of integers. So we're going to call that array. So basically with this we're saying, okay, so it'll be just an array of integers. That's the configuration. So if we are meant to have words instead of numbers, we will just put the word spring here. And why list? That's an interesting question, no? What do you think? Why list? Because this array is a set of numbers, and you have to. That's let's see how do I explain this to you so that you understand, because this is really important. So this is the type of value. You know, when you in Java, when you create a number, or like you want to, let's say int, the way you initiate a variable or a string, you say int and then the letter, for example, number equal 5, right? So then int will be the number that indicates the variable, the type of variable. Okay, the type of variable, it is list. All right. So in the way we initiate, we're just saying, hey, I just want to create a new list of integers. We just create it. We just initiate. In other words, we're just calling that table that I showed you in the previous slides, right? So we're just initiating that. So with this, you remember I told you it has a method. So this is the name of the array that it was already created here. We're just putting a add. Okay, you're gonna add here in the position 0. That's the configuration for us to add a number. Oh wait, not a number. We're putting 0. We're just putting, okay, you add the 0. The next fib that add, okay, you add the 1. So basically we just set up these two values. They're just being set up there. They're just fixated. We're not gonna move any from that. Why did I do that? Why did I thought about that? Because I knew that the first two numbers of a sequence is just that way, and I need them to sum those two numbers to know the next one. So this is what the for has to do about, right? So a way that I came up with, it was to handle this for. So then this little thingy here, this I, you see this was an example. Look, here I'm also initiating a value. This is an integer as well called e. It's going to be equals to 2. So I'm putting the 4 here, and so when I do this, look, this is the end. So I'll just move this. I'll explain this in detail, okay? So, but this is for you to move, right? Like to go through each position. In each position, we're gonna do a calculation, and that value is gonna be also inputted in the value of the position. So let me then explain a little bit about that, okay? So we have then, let's just think for a little moment here about this. So we have 4, we have parentheses, we have 3 sessions here. So the first session, it tells me, okay, there is an integer. It's called, you can call it I, X, Y, J, R, the first letter of your middle name or last name or whatever. So the main point here is that we're going to put a number. So that number could be 1, could be 2. I need it to be 2. Why? Because I need to analyze this position, right? Because I already know position 0, position 1, right? It is just 0 and 1 that's set up there. Now, in the position 2 of my array, that's where it's going to begin the whole thing. So the second part of it will be, okay, I needs to be less than n plus 1. I just put plus 1, and we need to figure out why. So that's what we're gonna do. N would be the number they ask us to know. For instance, if they say 5, okay, I need you to give me the value, or you stop doing the calculation until n plus 1. Why plus 1? Because n is equal to, let's say 5, right? If we start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, see, we're gonna get the 4. No, we need the 5. That's why we added plus 1 there. Okay, clear till there? Any questions? Let me know. Okay, now we know the first session. It just tells me, okay, the 4 is gonna start from these. It could be easily from 0, from 1, from 2. I just designed the code to begin from 2. So the second section, as a recap, it tells me, okay, when you reach the number 5 position in this example, you're just gonna stop, and you're gonna go through the array with increments of 1. So that's basically I equal I plus 1. It's the same way to write that. So basically it's gonna go from 3, 4, 5, right? And now let's just analyze a little bit what it's gonna do in each part of this I. So I really recommend you to do this mentally. Like, this is a way for you to see the future, all right? So you're gonna think through what it's like to think in the future. So doing this. Okay, let's try now. When I equals 2, look, we're basically here saying do a sum. Just do a sum. But where are you going to sum, and where are you going to put that value? So those are the two things you have to keep in mind. So we're going to sum. Let's just try to figure out this first. we're gonna sum the fib that get. So we're getting what is in this part of the array. If you see, okay, just pick up this, sum it. Put that value here. This is an integer. Put that value here, and that value you're gonna add it next. You see? Now if we do the math here, I equals 2. I equals 2, that means it's 2, right? 2 minus 2, 0. Okay, great. So we're saying, hey, pick up the array, pick 0. Pick position 0. When we use this method, the number that we put here is making a reference to the position and mentioned in the table. Okay, so that means 0. Position 0, this. We're saying, hey, pick up this 0. Okay, and then sum with the next value. What that value is. That value is fib that get position I. I equals 2 minus 1. So, meaning 2 minus 1, it would be 1. I'm telling him to pick up this. And that sum, it is 1. That value will be saved here. And then the next line of code is adding that value to the position 2. Once that happens, then this is going to increment, right? It's going to go here. Hey, I haven't finished yet. The order for me to finish would be once I is less than n plus 1. Like basically it says this. Okay, now I plus plus, it'll be 3. 3 is less than 5 plus is no. Okay, then it enters the for, it enters the loop, and it continue to do. So now let's do the same for when it's equal to 3. Equal to 3, the same calculation. 3 minus 2, 1. Okay, then it'll pick up this position, it'll pick up this value. And then plus 3 minus 1, it'll be 2. Then 0, 1, 2, it'll pick up this value. Then it's going to sum 1 plus 1 equal 2. It'll put it here. That basically add that value in the next available position. Okay, and it's this one. And then if we add the next one, the fourth, it'll add it here. And then that one, it'll add here, and so on. So once you get to this value, because that was the value needed to came up with, I just exit out of this for, and I give this instruction to print the get, right? With the get, okay, just pick up the array and give me the number n. That number n is 5 in this case, right? Okay, so if we put that into a hacker rank, we have this. Basically, this is how it works. Everything is all in a class. We have public class, the name of the class, and then we open. We have this main, public static void main string args. That's a way for you to read information. This is like the main method. Okay, so it allows us to receive information from scanner. I think that's the reason it is there. But yeah, so basically we just run the code. We run this main, and it'll run what is inside that method. So with this, basically we're just reading scanner, new scanner. That's a syntax. It's pretty good to know how to write that. However, if you don't know, you can just see how to use a scanner. to retrieve the information from the keyboard. But anyway, so here we're just integer n. This is the new scanner. Look, this is kind of the same. This is a type of, this variable is called scanner. Type of variable. This is a scanner variable and new scanner. So then we're putting whatever you get from scanner, that next, put it here in this variable. That's the n. That's where we got the, okay, give me the sequence in the position 5. Okay, that'll be that number. That is the number that the HackerRank give us by default. Okay, now here we create just the same code you had there, and we have the exact same code, the exact same code. If we run that, okay, here we have in this next 5 minutes, I'll just sort of explain a little bit how that code could be done using not arrays, but just array. Look, the same idea. In this case, we're just creating a Fibonacci, right? We're just saying, hey, this is an int. Your type of things you're putting inside, or this is all about integers. We're just creating these new integers, and so that means we're giving the table, creating the table. You're gonna have, in this case, why does it have a +1? Interesting, huh? But yeah, so in case that it is an n, like 5, right? If you sum +1, it'll be 6, right? Why? Because if you want the number 5, remember we're starting from 0. If we sum 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, we have to put 6 to get the 5. But that's the way. Basically here, we're just doing it differently. We're just saying, hey, the Fibonacci in the position 0, it'll be 0. And if, well, here we're putting a condition, if n greater than 0, I mean, of course, would be 0, would be 5 in this example. If that happens, okay, then fib position 1 is equals 1. I'm pretty much, they're doing the same here that I did, but they're putting this just, I think this is an extra step, but anyways. Now, look at the way they filled out that array. It is pretty much the same. They're starting from the position 2. They're saying, hey, you have to be I greater and less than n. Why do you think they have this instead of +1? Because in this case, n, it'll be 5, right? And this is starting from 2, right? And if we, for instance, now move into the 3, okay, let's say this is 5, okay? And then we're just going, remember that this 2, it'll be 0, 1, 2. It'll start from the position 3. And I minus n. Why? What do you think? Let's think for a moment. Let's see the example of, okay, it's just 1 minute to finish. So it'll be, he's starting from the position 3, right? I don't have a way to, okay, let's do this. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're starting from this position. We're starting from the position 2, right? This would be 2. In reality, this would be 3, right? If we say, now, next one would be 3. Okay, then we're gonna go this. We're gonna go this. 3. Next, we're gonna go 5, right? And next, we're gonna go 6. They tells us to do when it's equals to, it'll go this. Remember, this is making reference to the position where it's going to start. This is the 0, this is 1, 1, 2, 3, wait, no, 2, 3, 5, right? Yeah, this is the Fibonacci sequence, and this is the vector, not the vector, that's C++. This is the position. If we say, hey, I'm starting from here, right? But if we have the n, and in this case is 5, it'll be 0, 1, wait, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you say that it's less but equal, that includes the 5, right? So that means the last number will be this. We're gonna do 5 when I is equal to 4. That'll be the last number. So let's do it. So when it's 4, it'll be 4 minus 2, it'll be 2. Position 2. Yeah, it'll be 0, 1, 2. It'll put this number. Kind of confusing now. Well, get analyze this a little bit more, guys, but you get the ideas. It is pretty much doing that same calculation that I just did here. Let me just delete out all this, and that'll do it. Wait, is there a way to delete this quicker? Yeah. Okay, that's a way to work with the array. We have some other methods as well, but yeah. So the next one will be with just variables. That's something that could be done. We're not gonna analyze that, but so if you put that here, it'll give you that answer. So the next one will be the HackerRank 2. I'll just stop for a while, and we'll have a second section. Hopefully you can get the hang of what I just did here, and that'll do it.